Get ready to fight! Let's rock!
Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is Ghost Spectre, and I'm bringing you this informative guide on the campaign mode in Gunz 2. If you're having trouble completing the campaign mode, keep your ears open and your eyes peeled, and we'll talk about the basic principles involved with getting through the campaign missions for your achievements or your gold farming purposes. Now, if you've played the campaign missions right now, you know there's no way to change the difficulty of the missions, and by default the missions can straight up kick your ass if you're not paying attention to the enemy waves. So to get straight to the point, we're going to talk about the basic principles involved with completing the mission. These may seem a bit obvious at first, but you really would be amazed at how many people don't follow a few simple rules to get them as far as totally possible in the mission. The first rule you really want to abide by is the rule of ranged weaponry. You want to always make sure you're expending your ammo in a conservative way. That is, for example, if you're playing as Ivan, you'll want to make sure you're always trying to snipe, since it's possible to get multi-kill headshots with the sniper rifle in the campaign mode. Not only will this save tons of ammo for your team members that really need it, but it's also a safe engagement practice that should be followed by all the players of the group. By following this rule, you agree to never rush into a newly opened area because enemies are constantly spawning and can kill you in a couple seconds if they spawn behind you while you're rushing forward. You should be waiting for the enemies to come to you before moving forward. This will give a chance for the area to clear out. The second rule or principle I would suggest players understand in the campaign mode is the AI or enemies involved with the missions. There are currently 8 different types of enemies. From the most dangerous to the least dangerous, they are the self-destruct drone, the arson maniac, assault trooper, shotgun soldier, Kevlar soldier, rifle soldier, destroyer, and suppressor. Make a huge note to yourself that all of these enemies, except 3 of them, are melee range enemies. The rifle soldier, the destroyer, and the shotgun soldier can hit you almost any time they're alive. However, at longer ranges, they generally deal the least amount of damage. The melee classes, though, will deal tons of damage to any unsuspecting player, so be attentive and ready to prioritize the closest target. The third rule you will want to follow in the campaign mission is to maximize your damage anytime you can. In other words, learn to headshot. Not only do headshots save on tons of ammo, but it also makes the situation much easier for you and your group to ascertain, control, and contain the ridiculous amount of enemies that spawn in the campaign mode. So make sure you always aim for the head. It's really not as hard as you might think it is. Your fourth principle will tell you that your group composition and experience does make a difference. For players that are having trouble with a particular mission, it's recommended that you avoid using a max character to tank for your group, as it gives them a chance at being killed by the melee. Instead, try adding a gunslinger to your group to increase your area of effect damage on all the enemies. This saves quite a bit of ammo, and it abides by the first rule I was telling you about earlier. It is the rule of ranged weaponry, and it also gives you a ton of assists, EXP, and gold. The final principle players need to be aware of is to have the resiliency to try again. Plenty of times will you run into a group of assault troopers and be diced to pieces because you didn't follow any of the rules I put forth in this video. That's okay though, because you will go back in there a wiser individual and put an end to those bad habits. Practice will only help make perfect. After some time, you'll notice that the spawn points are always going to be the same, and where certain more dangerous enemies will spawn. Use this knowledge to your advantage so you'll have the edge in case you're with a lesser, inexperienced party. Okay, so let's recap. We have 5 principles to follow. Play by ranged weaponry, understand your enemies, maximize your damage, know your group composition, and practice to make perfect. Putting all these principles into action will certainly make your life easier in the campaign mode. However, for the 2 boss fights that the campaign has, it'll be a little more involved, but don't worry, I'll have you guys covered in a later video. Until then, play hard, play smart, Ghost out.